The cold of space had swallowed them whole. Alone, without any hope, all Captain Leora Voss could do was wait for the inevitable until a distant blip on the radar changed everything. 6 hours. That's how long it had been since the consortium fleet jumped away, leaving the damaged cargo vessel Persistence drifting in the void between galaxies. No stars. No planets. Just endless black and the dying whispers of failing life support. Captain, her navigator, Chin, coughed through the thinning air. Oxygen reserves at 12%. We have maybe 3 hours. Leora stared at the empty view screen where 60 consortium warships had been, where their supposed allies had promised evacuation, where High Commander Krex had looked her in the eye and sworn no one would be left behind. We may be stranded in the vastness of space, but we're never truly alone, not with humanity's will still alive, she said, more to herself than her dying crew. Captain. Her engineer, Martinez, wheezed from his station. Should we record final messages? The question hung in the recycled air like a funeral shroud. 23 souls aboard the Persistence. 23 humans who'd trusted the consortium's promises of protection in exchange for humanity's shipping routes. 23 fools who'd believed aliens saw them as equals. Not yet, Leora decided. Run another scan. Full spectrum. Why? Chen's voice cracked. They're gone. They left us to die because we're human. Because we're expendable. Because I'd rather die trying than die surrendering, Leora replied. Survival isn't just about the ship. It's about the spirit of the crew. The truth was simpler and crueler. The consortium had gotten what they needed, humanity's jump drive technology. The prototype installed on the Persistence had been studied, copied, and mass-produced. Humans were no longer useful. So when pirates had attacked during the convoy's passage through dead space, the consortium had made a calculated decision. Save their own. Let the humans die. Captain. Martinez suddenly straightened, his eyes wide despite the oxygen deprivation. I'm reading something. It's impossible. What is it? A gravitational anomaly. Growing. It's like space itself is being torn. Reality ripped open 300 kilometers off their starboard bow. Not a jump point, something else. Something that made the fabric of existence scream as it emerged. The sensor readings went insane, then died entirely, overwhelmed by what they were trying to process. Then they saw it. The ship that emerged defied every law of physics the consortium taught. Black as the void between galaxies, it seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. But it wasn't the size that made Leora's heart stop, though it dwarfed even the consortium's largest dreadnoughts. It was the design. Brutal. Efficient. Unmistakably human. That's not possible, Chin breathed. Earth only has 12 warships. They're all half the size of a consortium frigate. This thing is. Magnificent, Leora finished. The behemoth moved with impossible grace, closing the distance in seconds. As it approached, details became visible. Hull plating that seemed to shift and adapt. Weapon systems that looked more like contained singularities than conventional arms. And emblazoned on its bow, a name that made no sense, UNSS Vengeance Rising. They left us to die in the void, but the galaxy hasn't seen the power of a human warship yet, Martinez laughed, delirious from hypoxia or hope. A voice crackled through their dying comm system. Not asking for permissions or protocols. Simply announcing, Cargo Vessel Persistence, this is Admiral Sarah Chin of the United Nations Starship Vengeance Rising. Prepare for emergency docking. We're bringing you home. Admiral Chin? Leora's navigator gasped. Captain, that's my grandmother's name. But she died 20 years ago when the colony ship Hope's Dream vanished. The docking was swift, efficient. Within minutes, Leora's crew was breathing clean air aboard a ship that shouldn't exist. The interior was wrong too, technology decades beyond anything Earth possessed, corridors that seemed to adjust to whoever walked them, and a crew that looked human but carried themselves differently. Admiral Chen met them in the docking bay. She looked exactly like the photos in Chen's family albums, not a day older than when she disappeared. Questions later, the Admiral said, her voice carrying absolute authority. First, we need to discuss why you're here. The consortium abandoned us, Leora said. After they got our jump drive technology. Jump drive? Admiral Chen actually smiled. Is that what they think they stole? Oh, Captain. They have no idea what they actually took. She led them to the bridge, a vast space that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. The view screen showed the Persistence, but also things beyond it. Ghost images of other ships. Other times. Other possibilities. 20 years ago, the Hope's dream didn't vanish, Admiral Chen explained. We found something. Or rather, something found us. Humanity's benefactors. Beings who exist outside traditional space-time. They've been watching, waiting for a species with the right combination of stubbornness and stupidity to accept their gift. Gift? Evolution, Captain. Forced evolution. The jump drives we gave the consortium? They're not engines. They're beacons. Every time one activates, it sends a signal. Every species that abandons humans in deep space marks themselves. Leora felt ice in her veins. Marked for what? Judgment, Chen said simply. The benefactors have a simple philosophy. Any species that would leave others to die in the void doesn't deserve the stars. The consortium just failed the test. On the view screen, jump points began opening. Not one or two. Hundreds. Each disgorging a ship like the Vengeance Rising. The Lost Colony ships. The Vanished Explorers. Every human vessel that had disappeared over the past 2 decades returned as something more. We've been building, Admiral Chen continued. Preparing. Waiting for the galaxy to show its true colors. Today, 60 consortium ships left you to die. Tomorrow, they'll learn why humans never actually needed their protection. This is revenge? Leora asked. No, Captain. This is evolution. The weak needed protection. We don't. But we'll offer the consortium the same choice they gave you: surrender and serve or drift in the void. We'll see if they handle isolation as well as humans do. Chen turned to face her descendant. Your grandmother sends her love, by the way. She's commanding the reciprocity in the Andromeda fleet. We've all been busy. When hope dies in the darkness, that's when humanity burns brightest, Martinez whispered, staring at the gathering fleet. Leora watched the armada of impossible ships crewed by humans who'd been written off as dead, armed with technology that defied understanding. The consortium thought they'd left humans to die in deep space. Instead, they'd awakened something that had been patiently waiting in the dark. Signal the consortium, Admiral Chen ordered. Tell them humanity appreciates the educational experience. Class is now in session. The Persistence had been left to die as a casualty of alien indifference. It would be remembered as the spark that lit humanity's transformation from prey to predator. And somewhere in the void, the benefactors watched and smiled. The test was working perfectly.